Rear window removed. Not the easiest things to do, especially when you're by yourself. Had this wider kit from Harbor Freight. Biggest hang up is the spacing between the window and the roof rail here, and then the third brake light. So I removed the third brake light, which was helpful, and now we've got the window out, which is a big step, because next thing I want to do is get this entire car on jack stands, level it out so that it's plumb and level, and then be able to start cutting side panels and the roof off. That way, with having the car supported front, middle and back, then hopefully it won't have any chassis flex, and I'll be able to get the new panels on there without worrying about that. This is also the time where I can start removing the speakers and all these other parts and pieces from the rear shelf. It was a little bit tough to do that with the window in place, but now that it's gone, it makes it much easier. We'll start with the light that's under here for the trunk, and it's just a matter of pushing these pins in. You can remove it down that way. Just have to take the electrical clip off, and we can remove it. Again, a reusable piece. The rear speaker bolts are 7mm. They're actually just hand tight. You can easily just, you don't even need a tool. I just have an extension with a 7mm. Just unscrew it right there. Unplug that. Should come out. I got everything out that I should have, like I didn't. Little tab below, as it appears. Yeah. We got two, one there, little tabs that hold inside the frame. This little tool here has been worth its weight in gold. Saved me a ton of time and made removal of stuff so much easier. I always say, having the right tools for the job gets the job done, and it's true. Now, some of these pieces here, I have really no idea what they are, but they have part numbers, and usually what happens is you can look up the part number, and once you get the part number, you can see what everything is. So we'll do that next. So by looking up the part number, the JR3T, etc., we're able to figure out that this is the antenna for the navigation system. So again, that's something we will need to reintroduce once we build the 67 body on it. You know, obviously the GPS is depending on that, so we cannot get rid of it, and it will be incorporated in the new build. following the same method, we just figured out that this is the antenna for the keyless entry. Again, something that we'll need if we want to keep using the key fob, etc., which we do. To remove the key fob antenna, there's push locks all along. Take those out, we pop this up, and then there's another bolt under here for the bracket. All this stuff, funnily enough, is all kind of sort of hand tight, so you don't even need really any tools. But again, the 7mm talking about earlier, and that kind of just locks in there. So now that I have that out, put the unit back in so we don't need the screw, and we'll go from there. So I took the driver's seat back out. Couple of reasons why. The next steps in the build are going to be grinding and welding and all that kind of stuff, so don't want the seat to get damaged. The other reason is that we have to get the center console out, as the ABS module is hidden behind here somewhere, and because a bunch of the airbags went off, right there is one of them, but then all the curtain airbags did too. Probably have to get that reset. In order to do that, we have to start taking this apart. So this panel sits on here. It's just spring tabs. Take those off. You get 2 bolts that are showing, and it's probably another 7mm. Yeah, but these you need a tool for. The shift column has a little rubber pad here for coins and stuff. A little lift tab. You take that out, it reveals 2 bolts that also hold the console in place, so those will have to be removed. Then when you continue down into the armrest, there is a little felt pad. You take that out. Under the felt pad are 2 what looks to be 10mm bolts that will also have to be removed. Additionally, in the front here, in the footwell, there is a cover that needs to come off. Couple of clips, and then there's another clip behind here. You heard it pop, so we went behind here, remove that so that it's loose now. We'll also have to do that on the opposite side, clearly. Next step in removal is getting the top piece of the console loose. I started on the back end here, getting in between here, lifting up on this. There's the first one right there, and then there's a second one right there. So just popped up on here, popped up on there, and got it loose. So now we have to remove the console, the top piece by itself. One thing to remember, of course, is there's always electronics involved. So we have a clip connector right here that we need to remove. Now that that's off, I see another one. Where's that? Let's go around for that. Seems to be going over here. And there is the other connector. There comes the console. So you can see the 2 connectors. First one was over there, second one was over there. And we get that loose. It's on to the next steps, the bottom part of the console. Looks like we'll have to have a few more screws here and there. Figure that out as we go. Let's see where all those are located. Okay, so the coin cubby over here can be removed as well, and that reveals a bolt there and another bolt there, and then the handbrake has a bolt here and a bolt there. I think I have to remove that so that the handbrake itself can stay with the car and you can remove the console around it. So I removed these 2 bolts for the handbrake, and that's exactly what it does. It gives you the cover to go up so you can remove the console itself. Of course, the 2 bolts up there, everything else was a 7. Those have to be an 8, so pay attention, especially when you put things back together, that those are slightly bigger and those are 8mm. So that's the bolt that came out of the front here, and those are the 8mm, and those are the 7mm screws that I use elsewhere. So there's really no way to get those confused, but these are the ones that are the 2 in the front. Last step before the ability to remove the console is to get the shifter out. There's a white piece right in there that when you need to shift this without the car running, you push that white piece forward and then you push the button and you can shift without the car running. That's also a good thing to know if you ever get in a situation where you need to get the car neutral, to push it somewhere and the car won't start. You can just pop this out of the center console, push that and get it in neutral so you can actually get it somewhere out of safety or whatever. To remove the shifter, there's 2 Phillips head screws that are right in the front of the shaft right there. Those need to be removed, and you can lift the shifter out of the mechanism, and then we can remove the center console. They are tiny little screws, so make sure that you don't drop them into the center console. Hold on to them as you are taking them loose so that you don't get any issues losing them in there. Now that these are removed, you should be able to get that right off, and there we go. So now you should be able to get the center console off. There's probably some wiring here and there that I need to disconnect, so let's look for that and then we'll do the last step. After removing these 3 plugs, we are now at the ABS, or sorry, not the ABS, the airbag module, and that's what we were after. Also to be able to remove the carpet now, but yeah, we had to take all that apart in order to get to this module. So removing that is next. Okay, next order of business is to remove the carpet, and there's these 2 discs. I can already loosen them up. They come out and hold the side. And one of the things that we have to do is to get panel down, but to get the carpet out, we have to get the hood handle out. There's a little cap, so with your pick you can get in there. And I'll have to see what's behind that. Can't really see what that is. So the next step, when this is on here, I got my pick inside the hole, and then there's a tab right there, and there's a tab on the opposite side, and I had to push that in. This tab, push that in with the pick. Did one side, kind of lift it up on this side, and then did the opposite side to get that handle off. All in all, not that difficult. It's just knowing how to do it is half the battle. And then to remove the kick panel down below, this panel kind of overlaps. You pull this off, and then you can pull the tabs out to get this panel out. So now the carpet is free and clear, and we'll be able to remove that, except for one more round button there, and I'm not sure if that's a screw in. That's why there's a slot there, or a pull out. I'll try to screw in first and see what happens there. If it doesn't do it, we'll try to pull out. Well, that's exactly what that was. It was a screw in. So I got the screwdriver on it, removed that right on the screw head there. That came out easy. And then the last step to move this was to pop the footrest pedal out of the way, and that now really clears everything up. So may do a quick vacuum of this before I pull it out, get all the tools out, and then this side will be done. We'll move on to the passenger side. Well, one way you get snookered is that apparently they throw this carpet in before they put the dash in the car. So where you see it going over the tunnel there, that's actually one piece of carpet going clear across to the other side, which obviously I'm not going to take the whole dash out to get the carpet out, so I'm going to have to cut that over there and then pull this side and pull the other side. So there's the carpet removed. That's probably going to be a little battle of those pieces over there that go across the console, but at least on the driver's side we're there, and then it's on to wrapping it over to the passenger side and taking it out the passenger side door. And there it is. Carpet all removed. Getting pretty bare in there. But that's what we got to do for next steps. Should be going out and getting some other jack stands this afternoon, so I can jack the car up and level it out before I cut the roof. And there'll be hopefully another segment in this video. Progress is being made. I'm gonna set up these jack stands, and because I don't know how level the floor is and I want to get the car level as much as possible, I'm gonna start off with getting these about 3 inches from the bottom of the thread, so they're all sort of even when I stick them in there, and then that gives me a baseline for going from there, and then we can adjust accordingly with the floor unevenness. So we got the car jacked up on all 4 stands, and the unevenness of the floor is already coming into play. As you can probably see that far stand over there is not touching the car right now. It was, as I started on that side, as soon as I lowered this side down to get the car to sit on all 4s, it popped loose. So now we got these handles that we can turn to get the car to sit level. So next thing we're gonna do is get the level out and go lengthwise on the car, and then also widthwise. Once we get those 4 pieces square and plumb, then we're gonna support the rear subframe and front subframe with the other 4 stands. Well, right out of the gate, that's not bad. Just gotta bring up the back end just to here. Well, this is where we are across. Pretty good. This side's gotta come up just to here. But that's pretty good for having a level 4 in your garage. That's with a half a turn on each front and back stand. And that is with a full turn, and I think we're there. 2 stands at the front of the K-member that I put on. Nice sweet spot right there to put it under to keep the front. And basically I just got them to touch, and then maybe a full turn extra just to support it where it needs to be. Now we go to the rear. And in the rear, you find a beautiful spot right where the control arm meets the rear subframe, and good fit over there, good fit over there. And now we have 8 points of contact for the jacks to support the car and keep it level while I cut the roof off, so we don't hopefully get any sagging and misalignment. Just get a little bit more room, take the quarter panels off, and I'll take the rear wheels off. Now I can get in the wheel wells, work on the rear quarters, get those off. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to put in all the work to get off the pin wells, but I'm just going to cut them off. Haven't had much luck to sell any of the parts that come off this car, so if that's going to stay that way, then I might just cut it off and go for speed rather than trying to take it off and do the right thing, but then sitting on it not being able to sell it anyway. Jacked up, leveled, and ready to take the quarter panels and the roof off. This is where she's gonna sit for a while until we get all the new body panels on and structurally sound, welded back together and ready for the first test drive. Cut one made, a pillar on the passenger side, cut all the way through. Second A-pillar done. Quick update on where we're at with cutting off the roof and the panels and everything. I'll switch on the camera and we'll see where we're at. This definitely a must. And you can see all the smoke particles and everything that's hanging in the air through the sun rays coming in. So I gotta get that mask on soon again. But what we have here, a bunch of metal came off the car. Where it come from? Well, from here. So I cut the sill. Basically, as you can see, cut it here and here. Cut that off, kind of expose this box beam. That also has to be removed, but we'll get to that in a later date. And I first want to get the skins off. So then I moved down to the back portion here. And I did this kind of in sections. So I made a cut, took it out, see what I had, made another cut. There's several sections where there's plastic reinforcements that are glued in with this kind of foam, and it's really sticky. It's pretty hard to get out. But it does come out in the end, and you end up with something like this. So now we kind of worked on this back section, got all that off, and the strategy that I'm working on now is getting the roof off, and that got me thinking when I got the panels in the other day. This whole door frame comes in as one piece, and then you got the cross braces, and then you got the roof panel that goes on top. So I'm kind of doing that in reverse. As you can see, I've been starting to cut about halfway, and I got to go to the other side. I'm going to cut the roof panel itself. Then it exposes the cross beam in the back and the cross beam in the front. I'll be able to cut that out and on both sides, and then I'll just have the side panels, and it makes it more segmented since I'm working by myself, so it's a lot easier to get all these parts and pieces out without having to have a helping hand. Well, roof skin is off, so other than to work around, now I can make incisions through here and incisions through here on both sides to get those roof braces out. And then I can work on, well, I already cut the A-pillar here. Once those are out, I can cut the pillar here, take this piece out, and piece by piece I can take this whole thing apart. Front brace removed. And that used to be here, but it's not anymore. You can start seeing the strategy now. With the cross brace out, got the A-pillar to the roof line out on this side. That side will be next. And then the roof brace over there. And then we can start getting the quarter windows, etc. out of the car. And another piece down. And door sill. That's some of the foam that I was talking about earlier. It's kind of hard to get off sometimes. Oh, another part down. Some grinding discs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 29 grinding discs. And what do you get for 29 grinding discs? Well, you get this. This is how far we gotten so far. So, got the first sill layer off. Obviously, both A-pillars, the roof, the quarter panel on the driver's side, the cross brace to the other side, and obviously the quarter window assembly that used to be here is gone. On the passenger side, we got similar, where we have the first layer of sill plate gone, the quarter panel is gone, and I would say I'm 85% at getting this quarter window out, and I ran out of discs. So, yep, gotta go to the store, get some more, but as I say, we are beyond the point of no return. Yeah, all that grinding makes everything pretty dirty. Mostly illustrated by the fact that I had blankets to protect my car here. And you can see how much dust got beyond where there's no blankets.